Good happy Wednesday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, Manchester man dies of gunshot wound. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
They get a 48-inch flat-screen TV with every vehicle purchase. Lease new 2017 Jetta, $39 a week. Buy for $49 a week. AutoFareVW.com.
AutoFare makes it happen.
Authorities say the 911 call came in at about 12:30 Tuesday morning for a report of shots fired at an apartment on Thornton Street in Manchester.
They responded to 231 Thornton Street, where they discovered a deceased adult male. He appeared to suffer a gunshot wound. That male was determined to be a resident of 231 Thornton Street.
Kind of just wish it was a bad dream and I would wake up. Sorry.
Amanda Shatney is the victim's oldest daughter.
And it's a horrible situation. My dad was a loving, caring guy, did favors for anybody, never knew how to say no. He wore his heart on his sleeve.
Police were on the scene all day as news of what happened slowly spread through the neighborhood.
I'm just surprised that we didn't hear anything. That's, I think, the most surprising thing. Kind of scary too, but
I just can't believe it. This neighborhood is really, it's pretty quiet. I mean, there's some issues over at that house, but I mean, I'm shocked. I can't believe this.
Investigators say the case is in its early stages and are asking everyone in the neighborhood to be vigilant. Lock your doors and report anything suspicious to police.
I haven't figured out a way to handle it. My emotions right now are really numb. I'm just waiting on some answers on who and what and why.
Andy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Effingham man's death ruled homicide. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR.
Well, according to the AG's office, the victim is identified as 63-year-old Robert Dishman. He did die at the hospital suffering from a single gunshot wound to the chest. The investigators say Dishman was shot following some kind of incident at a home on Ames Way around 11 Monday morning. It's unclear if that's Dishman's home, but we spoke with a next-door neighbor who says a man named Bob does live at that address. He tells us he saw a heavy police presence there yesterday and was surprised to hear that someone was shot.
That's just crazy. I don't know. It's I've heard him yelled a few times, but I don't know what it was about. I heard some commotion, but I didn't think much of it.
No arrests have been made at this point, but the AG's office says based on their investigation at this point, they don't believe there is any ongoing threat to the public. Anyone with information about this is asked to call state police. That's the latest live in Effingham tonight. Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Early evidence points to nightmare scenario for Brazilian soccer team's ill-fated flight. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
The Surface Pro is perfect, fast and portable, but also light. You don't do 14 hours a day, 7 days a week for decades. If you don't feel it in your heart, listen, I know my superpower is to not ever sleep. That's it. That's the only superpower I have.
An extraordinary story of survival. It involves a Cinderella soccer team on their way to the first ever playoff game in their history when their plane crashed in the mountains of Colombia. 71 people died, but 6 somehow made it. Their bodies found away from the wreckage. What can we learn from them? Here's ABC's David Curley.
Looking at the images of this plane crash today, the mangled seats, just part of the fuselage intact, it's hard to imagine that anyone could survive. 71 people did die, but remarkably, at least 6 did survive.
In this particular instance, with all the wreckage that we've seen in the pictures, I would say if it's not miraculous, it's fairly close.
Last night, search and rescue teams frantically working to pull them from the debris. The jet they were on was flying to the Colombian city of Medellin, going down in the mountains that surround the airport Monday night around 10 p.m. Among those on board, the regional Brazilian soccer team, the Chapecoense. It was to be a joyous trip for the team. They were headed to a big tournament for the first time. Alan Ruschel with the beard, a defender, one of the two players who survived. Next to him, Danilo Padilla, a goalkeeper, found alive. He was actually able to call his family, but then died from his injuries. Another tragic story was the death of this 22-year-old player. His family releasing video just last week when he learned he would soon be a father. Fans of the team now stunned by the loss. And tonight, new details. Colombian authorities say the tail hit the top of the mountain and the rest of the plane slid down the other side. A team of investigators looking to the black boxes that they've recovered to determine what went wrong.
The flight data recorder will tell us what was and what was not operating in the cockpit. What did the pilots have to work with?
The plane was a British Aerospace 146.
Okay, and there you go on that report. OPEC keeps financial markets guessing on output cuts. Financial markets are on edge Wednesday as the 14-nation organization of the petroleum exporting countries, OPEC, meeting in Vine waves on a plan announced nearly 2 months ago to cut crude oil output though there are expectations a deal of some sort may be pushed through to salvage the situation, said a Sydney-based wealth manager. Inside Trump and Romney's Georgia's dinner. Let's take a listen to this video from CNN.
Donald Trump and Mitt Romney wrapped up their dinner at New York's Jean-Georges restaurant. No coincidence, it's at the Trump International Hotel. Listen to what a gracious Romney had to say.
I had a wonderful evening with President-elect Trump. We had another discussion about affairs throughout the world, and these discussions I've had with him have been enlightening and interesting and engaging. I've enjoyed them very, very much. I was also very impressed by the remarks he made on his victory night. By the way, it's not easy winning. I know that myself. He did something I tried to do and was unsuccessful in accomplishing. He won the general election. And he continues with a message of inclusion and bringing people together. And his vision is something which obviously connected with the American people in a very powerful way.
And our Jim Acosta asked Donald Trump whether Romney will be his Secretary of State. The answer, quote, well, we're going to see what happens.
Okay, and there you go on that report. That does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday and see you back here later on today. Goodbye, everyone.